close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive.
G'day. Who's here? Could be just a couple of us at the moment. Might crack another beer, so just finished the first one. Oh, wonder where it went. Make sure you got a beer. If you're technical, you can put something in the chat. Let us know what you're up to. Righto. Righto, let's get into it. Welcome to the first Mancave sessions, Dusty Visor. Got a few bits and pieces that I wanted to talk about, and didn't really suit putting into a video, so I thought I'll grab a couple of beers and try out this live streaming thing and see what happens. So anyway, this is the first one. People like it and it works. Yeah, I'll do a few more. First thing to talk about, 300 subscribers. The channel's cracked 300 subscribers. So I'll do the draw. There'll be a hoodie, a t-shirt, some other prizes, some pretty good stuff. Anyway, that's all free. If you're subscribed to the channel, you're in the draw. So if you're not subscribed, hit the old button now, and I'll put the results progressing. I've been really busy with work, so I don't have much time to work on it, but I have done some stuff, quite a bit actually, but still not ready to rock. So we'll see what happens there. It's put new rubber on, give it a titivate. It's got nice new carbs on. It's got a non-standard oil filter, so I had to send one back and waiting on the next one. And so a live fire up isn't far away with the old F1. Looking forward to that. Those of you that know me from a long time ago, F1 has been a dream bike with me ever since the 80s, actually, since I first saw one. Anyway, what else is happening? We've got a drone, so you'll see a drone. You'll see some drone shots start appearing in some of the next kind of videos that happen. Just got to work out how to use it. But quite excited about that. It's giving me something new to play with. New toy. And other news that's interesting to me, Ducati just released last week, the last 10 days. They've just brought out a new Hyper Motard. It's a mono, so it's a single cylinder. They haven't done one of those since the Super Mono of the 90s, where they put out a very few single cylinder race bikes. So very exciting times. It's a 698 single, so it's basically an $11.99 no, $12.99, cut in half. So you know, it's probably still quite heavy. I don't know, because they're also wanting to compete in motocross next year, so that motor probably wouldn't be up to snuff, even though it's the highest revving 4-stroke motor out there, singles. I think it goes to 14,000 RPM, puts out 70 over 70 horsepower anyway, quite a lot for a single, but still probably pretty heavy, not suitable for motocross. And now we know Ducati has told us that they want to get into motocross, and they've started hiring people, so they must have another engine up their sleeve, so that'll be interesting, exciting to see. MotoGP, if you speak about racing, this season I follow MotoGP pretty well. Not so much Superbikes, don't know why, but anyway, there's only so much time you can have spare to watch TV. I don't watch a lot of TV. But anyway, it was going to be, look like, obviously Ducati's dominating this year, very much so. Suzuki's pulled out. So there's Yamaha, Honda, the only Japanese teams left, factory teams. But Pecco Bagnaia, anyway, he took off with a hiss and a roar at the beginning of the season. And sort of mid-season, old Jorge Martin started kicking some shins and winning some races. Anyway, he sort of got in the zone, old Jorge Martin, and it's a pretty tight race with only 2 GPs to go. So tomorrow, or this weekend anyway, the Qatar GP and then Valencia to finish off the season. So it could take, the season could go down to the wire. So it's pretty exciting. So, you know, it's something to watch. And part of that, I did a video on it the other day, because it doesn't seem to be many people know about it, but there's a thing called MotoGP Guru. So if you go on the internet and go to MotoGP Guru, you'll find a website where you can sign up, make an account, and for each GP you can start putting in who you think's going to win. First, second, third in the races, the sprint race and the main event. Also practice who's going to be on pole and all the rest of it. And every time that you make a guess or a prediction, they're calling it, win or lose, you go in the draw to win a brand new Ducati V4S Panigale. It's done up in the Rosini team colours, but free to enter, free to start an account, free to enter, all that sort of stuff. And it makes the whole following the GPs a bit more exciting. I quite enjoy it. I only found it 3 or 4 GPs ago, so it's been going all season. But I've started an account and I started making my predictions. It's quite good actually, quite fun sitting down and see at the end how you went on. It definitely gets a bit more engaging, and you know, you got a bit of skin in the game, I guess. So, and you can have a league as well. So I started New Zealand League. There's a few New Zealand leagues, but I started Dusty Visor League. So if you go and have a play around, you'll see up the top one of the tabs is leagues. Click on leagues and search for Dusty Visor, and then you'll see the Dusty Visor League, where I'll give a bottle of the good stuff to whoever gets the highest score at the end of the season, which is probably going to be myself, because no one else is in it. So if you're thinking about it, jump on and have a look and join our league. Yeah, quite fun. What else? Oh, what's coming up? Greymouth Street Races. We went to that, of course, 2 weeks ago. That was a great time. It's one of only 2 street races left in New Zealand, with the Mancave pulling the pin, which I wish they had not. They should have just shifted it to Saturday, but for whatever reason, they did not. And they've pulled the plug on that. So anyway, Greymouth now and Wanganui. That's all that's left of street races, which is a bit sad. But hey, at least they're still going. I don't think Greymouth will pull a pin in a hurry. I hope not. I think they get good turnouts. Certainly gives a big boost to the town. It was a good old time. Man, those bikes can move. And plenty of crashes, no serious injuries, I don't think, which was good. Hyper motards, man, those things look fun. And you can tell those guys are having a ball. There was a rider competing from Geraldine, actually, who I don't know him personally, but anyway, some local people represented there. So when that Ducati Hyper Motard hits New Zealand, man, I hope somebody Dutch racing one of those, because it's going to be awesome. Very exciting. So that was Greymouth Street Races coming up. We've got the Southern Classic coming up at Levels in a couple of weeks. Not this, 1 weekend's time. Not this weekend that we're going into now, but a week from now at Levels. That's the best and biggest classic race festival, I guess you want to call it. It's actually a race weekend in New Zealand. It's everything pre-92, I think. I'm not sure. But last year there was a 1920-something Rudge there, and he raced it. Abro Superior, all that sort of stuff. It was, amazingly expensive rare bikes, but still out there doing it. So that was pretty cool. Really enjoyed that last year. So what will be down the end, up in the old Ducati corporate box, old Wayne's puts up the marquee, and we fire up the barbecue, and we're down the end by the sweeper, by the big sweeper. So if you turn up next weekend, go down there, come and see us, say hello. There'll be a chili bin and a few cold ones down there. Be good to see you. I've actually got a nephew, my sister's boy. He's going to be racing. He's based in Palmerston North, but he's going to be racing in Benally down here, so that'll be very exciting to see. I'm sure I'll reflect a bit and feel like, I've come a whole big circle, from being that young fella with, no life responsibilities, just having fun and tearing up on the track, and then to see myself now, a bit of reflection, I'm sure will happen there. The cheese run. We did a cheese run. Also, I forgot about that. So me and Stretch and Kim went down to Stirling, the cheese factory at Stirling, and it's near Balclutha. And we went down there to buy a bunch of cheese. I guess most people go down, do their things and bring nefarious, dodgy stuff back, but we did the cheese run. So pretty cool. Weather wasn't the best, but we got to Dunedin really before it started really raining. That's kind of Stretch's domain down there, so he took us on some back roads. We turned off at Karatani and went around the coastal part, came down into Port Chalmers. Pretty cool, hadn't been on that road before. Some nice views, pretty tight and twisty, and a lot of subsidence and that, because it's quite steep there too, I guess. Not something you'd probably race around. It's a bit tight for that, I guess. All sorts of houses there, big fancy ones overlooking the sea and the I think, is it the Tyree Heads? I can't remember. Whatever the heads are to the Dunedin Harbour, and also some dodgy looking things. Real mix of wealthy people and those hippie types living in those shacky type, tin houses and stuff. But it was nice. It was nice there. We got to Port Chalmers and then sort of stayed patchy from then on. We headed south and probably, I don't know, half an hour out of Gore. It just started raining again. Anyway, not Gore, sorry, Balclutha. Anyway, so I got to Balclutha, stayed at Carker Point, and went up that night and went to Nugget Point and walked out to Lighthouse. That was pretty cool. And then had a couple of beers in the hotel, all a pretty quiet night. Next morning it was raining, terrible. So we went up to see a mate, Walker. Hadn't seen him for a long time. So it was good to catch up with Walker. And I'm sure we'll do some more, we'll do some riding together for sure. He's got a GPZ 900, the old Ninja, 1984 Ninja. And his boy swings on speedway chairs. In fact, I think he said they're the New Zealand champions or the South Island champions at the moment. So anyway, I'm sure we'll pick up Walker on our way down to the Burt in February, which is the next thing to talk about. There's probably got about, we've got 12 bikes going down at least at the stage. You're welcome to join us. Just flick us a message on Facebook or whatever. We've got some good accommodation sorted out. I do have one cancellation, so I've got one spot, one spare bed at the moment. So if you want that, it's we'll be going down for 5 nights, so we won't miss any of the racing at all, I don't think. We go down on the 7th, and I think we leave on the 12th, on the Monday after all the racing. So that was our mistake last year. We came back on the Sunday, and we had to, halfway through the street racing, we had to bail and head home. So, you know, the Bert's coming up. It's going to be very exciting. We've got a sport wagon coming down with us, so we don't have to carry too much gear or anything. Yeah, it's very exciting. What else have we got to talk about? Oh, yeah, so, you know, I'm just a bit stiff at the moment. I've got a real... If anyone's had a thing called Ryeneck, it's freaking horrible. And most painful thing I think ever happened to me. I'd rather get kicked in the nuts than have that again. But, you know, I'm just getting over it now. So I'm a bit stiff. And I don't know what triggered it. It could have been the ride down south. I mean, there's plenty of potholes we had to deal with. And, you know, I think we did... What did we do? Can't remember how many Ks we did. Stretch told me. I think it was it 1,000? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it was 1,000. It's 1,000 in 2 days. Not, but 2 rainy days, and they were, you know, it wasn't just get on the motorway and just wander out and just go. We had to ride them, you know. We came back up through the pig route. And actually on the way, when we left Balclutha, if you stay on the north side of the Clutha River and head west, eventually you're going to get to a place called Tupeka. And there's a ferry there called the Tupeka Ferry. And you turn off, it's all signposted. You turn off and go down the little gravel road to the river. And it's got a, like a punt looking thing, but big enough to take cars and things. Anyway, you go on that, just ride straight on, and they put the chain across and turn on, doesn't have a motor. I guess they adjust the rotors and the flow of the river pulls you across, and off you go, you drive off. That was free, but it was, I guess it's paid for by the Southland District Council or the road thing. But anyway, that's all, it's considered part of our network. So that's a real cool thing to do if you're down that way. I'd like to do it on a sunnier day than we did it, but then of course when you cross and you're heading north, you go up through up the side of the river up to Beaumont, which is a beautiful road in and out of the native, and at Beaumont you can turn right, go back to Dunedin, or turn left and go around to Rays Junction and up through to Ettrick and Roxburgh and all that stuff, which is what we did. And then went up had lunch at Alex, and then went up through the pig route. Stopped at Naseby. I went in to see a guy called Eric Swinburne. Eric's kind of like a Ducati and British bike and car and European car and bike guru. Unfortunately, he wasn't home, so... But I'm sure a little bird told me he'll be at Southern Classics, so I'll catch up with him then, I'm sure. Anyway, by the time we got home, yeah, we were well tired from a couple of big days riding, especially in that sort of weather. So, but anyway. I was just thinking, you know, people, I see some of the comments in the MotoGP, people are moaning and groaning about how, there's Ducati everywhere, you know, it's, you know, MotoGP is boring because it's just Ducati. There's, I think, 14 out of the, or 12 out of the 20-something bikes on the grid are Ducatis. Well, I remember back in the late 80s when I was really right into it, racing myself and all that sort of stuff. I remember then it was Honda, Yamaha and Suzuki. That was it. There was no European marquees at all. So we went from the early days, probably all the British stuff and some of that Italian stuff, and then they all faded away. The Japanese took over and we got all the Japanese stuff. The only European bike I can ever remember was the Kajiva. when they're still all the big two-strokes. So, and but now we're actually better off now than we were. If you want variety, because we've got Ducati, Aprilia, KTM. You know, that's European marquees. And we've still got Honda. Suzuki's pulled out, of course. Honda and Yamaha. So we've actually got more variety now than we had before. So I don't know. I think it's good. And I'm pleased that it's plenty of European stuff that's leading the charge, you know. If the Japanese are pulling out of all that cutting edge development, somebody has to do it. Otherwise, technology is just going to stagnate. And at the moment, it's looking good. I don't know when, but I imagine at some stage we'll be looking at a 300 horsepower bike, which would be, 100 horsepower was the line, and so was 200 and 220, and so anyway, I'm sure 250 is another line, but that's about where we're at. So anyway, not sure how many people watching. I see a few there. Have a go at the chat so I can see who you are. And if you've got any questions, anything you want us to talk about, just let me know. Let me see if I can see who you are on this. Oh, Little Ghost. Yeah. Thanks, man. That's Q. I follow Q, and Steve, if you don't know Q, he's a Guzzy fanatic, which is great, and he's still a hardcore rally rider. Have a look at his Little Ghost. He is, Steve. So if you have a look at his channel, he any rally in the South Island and half the North Island ones, so you'll find him there. So, and he gets that Guzzy into some crazy places I wouldn't take a bike, and he manages to get them all in there with road tyres. So, what else going on? Yeah, Steve, you're looking at the bike. Sorry, I just found the chat, so let me just flick through there. So the bike behind us, Steve, is the F1. Sorry, I didn't find your stuff. So yeah, it's the F1. It's in bits. You can see some of the bodywork behind us. I'll shift out of the way. You can see the beautiful 2-valve Panther engine with carbs, of course. So yeah. That's what I've done. I rented a shed, so I've got a bit of a workshop I'm setting up there. That's where the multi-strata is. But yeah, multi-strata's there. Got Guzzy down the road. Some other bits and pieces. I've got a few bikes I'm working on at the moment. Just fixing up for friends, a couple of dirt bikes and things. So this bike here, the F1 is mine. The multi's about. This bike here, Q, been a dream of mine ever since I first laid eyes on one about 1986. And I always wanted one. And so the story is, I'll tell you, but it's going to be in a video that I'm doing about, the bucket list and the dream bikes and lots of stuff. But I'll tell you now anyway, since we're here. I'm having a couple of beers. So what happened was I walked into Norjo's in Christchurch. They were the only South Island Ducati dealer at that time. And I'm sure you remember Q that in late 80s, anything Italian was exotic as hell, There were a fair few Beamers around, K100s, K75s, a few boxes. But anything Italian was pretty exotic. And anyway, I went in there and I said, look, I want one of these F1s. And he says, it was the owner I talked to actually. And he said, yeah, you can get an F1 and 14 grand, which was a lot of money in 1987, I think it was. Yeah, it was 87. 14,000. And I said, well, I want one, but I want one with a dual seat because, and I was a bit worried because I've never seen them with the what do they call it? Mono post though. So I said to him, oh, look, I'll take one, but I need one with a dual seat. And he goes, they don't come with a dual seat, mate. And being only early 20s at the time, and I knew I was going to have to finance it, and I didn't have any money for a second vehicle. I was chasing girls like crazy at the time. He says, well, look, he says, what about this one? He showed me a picture of a Passo, and I didn't actually like it much, to be honest, but I knew it had a Panther engine, I could get it, I figured it was going to sound like a Ducati, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty out there, but I really wanted the racy one. And he said, well, the Passo's 16 grand. So, end up getting the Passo, dropped the hammer on the Passo. That was the biggest regret, probably with bikes I ever had. I didn't like it. It had 16-inch wheels front and back. It was quite wide, and it was like riding a Dolphin, actually. And that single Weber carb was terrible. So, Panthers down here. The guy Eric Swinburne I talked about, he'll have he's in the 70s now, but he'll be racing at the Southern Classic. He's got a SL Panther, the 500, so I'm pretty sure he'll be racing that. I looked in the Winner's Workshop when I was in Naseby the other day, and it was in there. So yeah, that'll be racing around. Yeah. So this bike, it's done 10,000 Ks, and when I got it, I basically bought it from the States. A friend of mine over there. Yeah. So it's done 10,000 Ks. It's pretty straight. It's had some work done to the engine. I'm not sure what. I'm still looking into that. It's got a couple of weird things that I found, like brand new 38mm carbs on, and they came standard with 36s. So still the Delortos of the time, but 38s, brand new. So I don't know what the jetting is, whether when he ordered those carbs, they just came with whatever jets they had in them, and apparently they jet them. The factory jetting for those carbs in the box, if you don't ask, is for I think they jetted for, somebody told me, for a Boxer, for a BMW. So I don't know yet. I guess I have to fire it up and see. And I'm not sure, you can't see in the video, but adjustable cams, pulleys on there, and the round tooth belts, gone from the square tooth belt to round tooth belts. So I don't understand why you do that, except for maybe he's got lumpier cams in there, so he needed to put adjustable cam pulleys on. There's some extra marks, some sort of timing marks on the crank pulley, so I'll have to just nut all that out. And then the vertical cylinder spark plug came with a like a 4mm shimmin on it, like a extra thick washer, but definitely machined on a lathe, just to 4mm anyway. So yeah, so I've got to find I can't think why you'd shim up. And I've checked plugs. The plugs are all the right plugs for it and all that sort of stuff. So, do I work on the bikes? Yes, all the peripheral stuff I'm pretty handy at. I wouldn't be comfortable ripping the heads off and rebuilding a motor. I don't know, gearboxes and that sort of stuff, and that's probably a bit out of my league. But clutches, all that sort of stuff, no problem. Carbs, I've actually have to start scratch. It's been a while since I've had to work on carbs, so I'm just thinking back to the old days when I used to race my Cagiva Elazura, and because I put F1 barrels on that, they drop straight in. Well, you got to machine out the cases, but the heads and all that pretty much drop straight onto a F1 barrel. So, I had to rejet. I was under carb for that at 36s. So. But anyway. Yeah, Brad Black. That guy, oh yeah, I'd love to talk to that guy. It's good to see somebody, I follow him and watch all his videos. Does all that, because he's one of those guru guys and he's young enough, he's not even that old, but he's one of them guru guys for this generation of bike, sort of pre-injection days. So yeah, anything he says, I'm listening to him, that's for sure. Yeah. I don't know about putting it on the road because they say I found a little couple of marks. It's been a track bike is what it is. I found a couple of little marks on the pegs. It's got a bit of a touch up down one lower fairing, so it's been down at least once. And I know that I'm assuming that when you register, something for the first time, they're pretty strict, and it looked like pretty low speed anyway. And I don't know, but I mean, the paint on it is amazing. The bodywork's a bit chipped and stuff, but the frame is just immaculate. So I mean, it looks tidy and it's tidy. So, but yeah, I'm not sure yet. I definitely want to ride the thing, that's for sure, no doubt about that. So, yeah. So when you're coming over, Steve, you got to come over one time. You got to come down and do the Burt. I reckon I can scrape you up a bike if you needed one, and you come down and do the Burt, because that's it. I think I seen one of those other videos. Europe's got Isle of Man, and States has got Speedweek at Daytona and all that. Well, we've got the freaking Burt. It's unreal. I'm sure, Q, you've been down to it a few times, I imagine. I just, last year was my first time, and I didn't bother going to the rally part. I just figured, down there it's going to get muddy as hell, and they're going to be tearing it up if I don't know. I'll wuss out and go and stay in a hotel or something. So. An RD400. Now, I've got a good mate in this town who is, he runs the Indian restaurant. So if you're ever coming through Q and the Indian restaurant's open, stick your head in and ask for Dylan. And that guy is obviously he's from India, but he's real good rooster. And he's got a Harley and he's got a Triumph 2016 Triumph Bonnie. Anyway, Dylan is a Yamaha two-stroke freak, and he wants to bring over an RD from over there, but because you can't find them here, so. Oh yeah, you got to do the Burt. Well, come down with us. We've got a spare bed now, so come down with us. Steve can't make it. Q, you have to come down. We're all sort of greyish haired. None of us are too, none of us are real young little rat bags anymore. So, but anyway, have a think about it. You got to it's like I say, I think we go down the 7th of Feb and come back on the 12th. So, yeah. You probably found out the same as me, Q, the old racing. Yeah, you can. I got bitten by the bug, but then I got burnt out. I think my wallet got burnt out before I did, but I just got a bit disillusioned, really, being a young fella and knowing that unless you had, it was all horsepower back then. Here with the big, because the tracks were like Pukekohe, which massive, big, back straight and all that. And you went in the hunt. The most fun I ever had racing was probably at Wanganui, because it was a shorter circuit and you could dice around with everybody instead of just, once you got through the back straight of Puke, wherever you were, that's pretty much where you were going to end up at the end of the race, because, well, basically it was just horsepower sets, horsepower set everything, really. Oh, yeah, Steve, you've been down to... What have you got ex-UK? You're talking about the RDs. Is this the 400 you're talking about? There's a bit of lag when we talk, I think, so I'm a bit slow to answer, that's why. And Steve, you've been to Mancave. Well, yeah, I hope you had a good weather. But saying that, I think it rained. We went down to Burt this time. We got a bit of rain between Gore and Mancave. We were on our way down, and that was it. After that, we just got burnt to a crisp. It was so hot on the Sunday coming back. We stopped in Milton and just poured water into our helmets and our scarves and everything, just trying to cool off. It was brutal hot. I've been to Australia, and I have to confess, Steve, that, because I didn't know you were in Melbourne, but I was in Melbourne a month ago, and I was there for a week. Yeah, sorry, I didn't know that. I wish I'd known, because I went with the family, and it was mostly all family time. But what we did do one day, we jumped on the trams and went out to St Kilda, and as soon as you hop off the tram, there's a shop there that's got 2 Ducati Sport Classics, or 1, and 2 Paul Smarts, and something else really weird. And just sitting in the shop, it's closed. The shop's closed. I don't know what it was. It's got these cool exotic bikes in there. I don't know what the deal was there. Maybe right St Kilda at the end of the line, when you hop off the tram, boom, right there in the shop window. And I got to tell you, the first day we got into Melbourne, it was nice, 24 degrees. I thought this was going to be a great week. Then it rained every day for the rest of the week that we were there. But anyway, I've heard that about Melbourne. So. All right, you two, I don't know, what else? A couple of quiet people there, but shy, don't want to say anything, but it's all right. Might not even know how to talk on the how to chat, so. Yeah. Let me know if you want to do another one. I really wanted to do something like this, because the stuff I was talking about at the beginning on was things I wanted to sing, but they didn't really suit putting into a proper video. I thought, well, how can I get it out there? Now, short wasn't going to work because it would be too short. And I thought, well, do a live stream, and then people can just jump on and if they want to, and then they can hear what's going on. So, yeah, motor social. I'd like to, but I don't think my neck's going to be right yet. It's still quite tender. I'll be very touchy putting on a helmet. So, but I went to that one. I went to October one. Was it the October one that was down? That was at Casbox, like on a Saturday morning or something. That was great. I loved it. Really, really enjoyed it, and didn't really ride anywhere. Actually, I went in the car because I had the missus with us, and we were going to shops, but doing some shopping. But yeah, really enjoyed that. Some cool bikes there, and of course, plenty of people doing wheelies as they left, just to impress everybody. So no, I don't think I'm going to go. So all right, live is cool, man. Yeah, you make the effort, Q, because it's quite good, eh? It's quite good. I'd love to do. I wish I'd done the one down New Regent Street, because that's I love that street. It's my favourite street in Christchurch. But it was like a Tuesday night, and I'm not sure where this next one is. I can't remember. Oh, it's back at Smash Palace again, isn't it? So, but I reckon those Saturday morning ones would be good rather than the middle of the week. But I guess we're into summer and daylight saving now, so. Oh, did you have the 1100 and the Sport, Steve? Yeah, well, I'd love. I don't. This has done 85,000 k's now. Oh, not this one. Sorry, the one in the shed, the multi, and I love it. It's not the prettiest Ducati they ever built, but man, is it nice to ride. I can, it pretty much keeps up with anything except for the 4 valves. And just really easy to ride. You can go crazy, and it's really good on gravel. I enjoy it on the gravel. So, and I thought, I just love a bit more power now. So, but see, that one's got all the Olin stuff on it, like the S. It's not an S, but it came as a Jap import. So, you know what the Japs are like, they always, pimp everything up. So it had all the carbon. They had the stain tune exhaust on, which sounds awesome. You fire it up, everybody turns around to look at it because it just sounds really good. It's got all the Olin stuff on it. So, yeah, I just like it with more power. So if you had the 1100, I'm not sure. You probably another 5 horsepower at least out of that. Yeah, I've never been to Smash Palace. I think I walked past it during the day one time and went, oh, that's where it is. That's cool. But the missus likes to go to little high if we're in town. So, are you, Q? Are you farming? Are you dairy farming out there? I sort of see. I know you sort of Oxford around your way. I think somewhere. Yeah. Once the 4 valves came out, that was the end of that. Well, now anyway, the Pikes Peak and all that sort of stuff. I see they've got that. What's the latest one they just released? The Multistrada V4 S or R or something. Detuned. Well, what are they detuned? The first 4 valve, first V4 they brought out. They detune it down to, so it's only 170 horsepower, as opposed to the normal Panigale, which is just over 200. You need 170 horsepower there, especially on a venture bike. Oh, that's the other thing. Okay, what are you farming? Oh, you're farming. Oh, you chucked in the animals and you planted Christmas trees, did you? Or else you're doing turkeys or lambs. Which is the RS, Steve? Can't remember. Oh, that's the latest multi out, the V4 RS. How many horsepower is that one? I didn't even notice. But that Hyper Motard single is going to be awesome. Anybody got any helmet recommendations for a light helmet? And I actually really like the ones where you can drop down the tinted internal visor thing. I just got a cheaper Alias 2, which I got when I first started getting back into bikes, and that's got the little visory thing, and it's fantastic. I love it. No trees, but I do have some lambs just for myself. American Styles. Oh, 180 horsepower, right on. It's getting up there. Yeah. Well, you think 22,000 now in 2023. Imagine when I bought that Paso for 16 grand back in 80 something. Crazy, eh? Cranberries. Oh, yeah, cranberry sauce. So you must be growing turkeys there, Q. Cranberry sauce, perfect addition. We'll see what you say. I know there's a bit of delay. Oh yeah, 22 gram for the single. Yeah. I reckon what we'll do, if we do this again too, might get somebody on as a guest in that. I can set it up so that we can do a Skype call or something or whatever and put somebody in. It'd be good to have. Will Gilligan. Yeah, okay, Turkey man. Right, yeah, we always have my wife's from Mexico and they eat turkey too. Of course, I think that's where turkeys came from originally. So we always have turkey for Christmas. Will Gilligan, the name rings a bell. I can't remember why. I think he races, does he, eh? Will Gilligan. Oh, is he a guzzy guy? Does he ride guzzies? Is he like a panel beater guy or something? Fairly young and... If he is, I think I bought some pipes off him once. Yeah, there's a bit involved setting it up, Q, the old live streamy thing. I'll take a photo after this but yeah, got lights and stuff and you need a computer. You could probably just do it off your phone actually if you wanted to. Just do it off your phone and just walk around with it. Because I know when I set it up, it asked what you were going to use, whether you're going to use a desktop or a mobile. So you probably could do it easy, fairly low tech. Okay, well, Will Gilligan, yeah, name rings a bell to me, but I don't know. Do you know him, Q? Have you heard of Will Gilligan? I better have another Japanese tea. Oh, well. I guess that's about all I've got to talk about, really, you guys. Oh, I've got one question for everybody. Now, my missus Mexican, so we drink a bit of Corona. This is not being this Corona, this is a Japanese tea that I like to drink, but yeah, I've too much talking and not enough slurping. But I've got a question for you because I ask this everywhere I go, and it's one of our things that we do. And you'll probably, well, I'm sure we'll get to ride together one day, Q, and hopefully Steve as well. And you'll meet some really good roosters. Well, we're all sort of on the top side of 50, but yeah, we've all been there, done that, and good bunch of guys. Anyway, but I've asked everybody this, nobody can answer it. Have you ever noticed when you open a Corona, you can get it to pop? Nothing pops like a Corona does. No matter what you do, and I'm good, I've had a bit of practice opening beers, no matter what you do with any other brand, it doesn't pop like a Corona. So why does Corona pop like that? Now, I've been to the town Montezuma where they started making Corona, and it's still a Corona factory there, and it's up in the mountains, and I thought, well, maybe it's an altitude thing. But then I had somebody point out to me the other day that Coors beer in America is made in Golden, Colorado, which is a mile up from sea level, and their beer doesn't pop. Well, not really. You can barely call it beer, can you? The old American stuff. What do they call it? Sex in a canoe? Fucking close to water. Anyway, Yeah, and then I thought that too. I thought, well, maybe they put an extra squirt of, because they export so much of it, they must go, anything they export gets an extra dose of CO2. And that may be that may be true, I don't know. But anyway, it's something to think about. Ask around if you, something to ask people at a barbecue, isn't it? Why'd I choose the multi? Okay, well, there's a story there too, but I hadn't had a bike for a long time, and I wanted to get back into bikes, and I wanted to make a cafe racer. I was really into cafe races at the time, and thought, well, I'll get a bike, and I'll build a cafe racer out of it. And then I was at a bike shop, and this guy said, "Oh, why don't you get one of those early multis and chop that up?" And he says, "Look, you've got the exhaust already routed up high. You got the good air-cooled, twin spark motor." He says, that nobody really cries chopping one of them up, and he says, you'll have a good basis for it's got the trellis frame, good basis for a. I keep pointing at the F1 because that's where the multis lived for the last 3-4 years. But anyway, and then I found one, and there's a story about that too. But I can't. I can't say on YouTube the story behind it, but it was all legal and all that stuff. But maybe that. Anyway, what we're talking about Oh, that's right. And so I bought this multi-strata and got it home, and I looked at it and went, "Oh, I can't cut that up." And so I chickened out, and so I kept it as it was, and I'm really glad about it because I couldn't cut it up. That's how I got the multi-strata. So it was actually my first bike I'd owned since I sold my last one in 1991. So I hadn't ridden for all that time. Well, I'd ridden for work and stuff, dirt bikes at work, just putting around. I used to work in Spain and that, out in the hills and that, with some, ride bikes here and there. And then every time I catch up with my old mates that I used to ride with, and they rode all the way through and still got bikes. Both on Ducatis. One switched from Guzzi to Ducati about 20 years ago. But, they still love the Italian stuff. They still ride, all the time. And whenever I'd go to see them, one of them would always give me his helmet and make me ride his bike, just to try and get me fired up again. And, eventually it worked. And he's got a 1299, but me riding that never ever took it anywhere near what it could do. I'm probably too nervous, too scared if you're not riding very often. Yeah, so there you go. That's how I got I chickened out. Now I'm not interested in cafe races. I like walking at cafe races, but I'd probably like to still build one. But I don't know. I just couldn't cut one up. No, I couldn't cut a Ducati up or a Guzzi, even especially the Guzzis and that. I hate it when I see. Well, even with the Ducatis, but I hate it when I see some nice a Le Mans or something like that, and somebody's gone and chopped it up. It's like, I don't know how people do that. Each to their own, I suppose, but those bikes now, all of them, I suppose. Those even from the 80s, they're worth more original than they are chopped up. So, all right. Well, we're going to find out. I don't know. Everybody try and find out about the Corona thing, and then in the next one, in the next live stream, I'll ask and see what people come up with. Shame. Shame a few of the guys I ride with didn't come on the chat, but they're not very high tech at all. So, all right. Well, I reckon we'll cut it there, and Q, if you want a hand setting up a live stream, something, just let me know. Just flick me a message or something, and I'll flick you my cell or blast down or something like that. I work from home most of the time, so a lot of times you'll catch me at home during the week. So But anyway, you two, thanks for chipping in and keeping it going. And whoever the other people have been, maybe a bit shy. Right on. Good on you. Cheers, Q. Cheers, Steve. Catch you in the next one.